What's going on, South? You're a little bit early, and so you're obvious, and let people know that they can come in on the conversation. Join us for church online. Southern Maryland area, again, thrilled that you in your area. And so now we're broadcasting at southpointforyou.com/. But over on the church, you can request prayer and talk somewhere in the window. And so depending on, we want to talk with you and, as we get back excited to get back to. Facebook, you can follow the link, your family in this season. Go ahead and take a moment. And to do that, let's take a moment and pray under South Point Church. Welcome. And
I was lost, but he brought the sunset side. Me, the God, yes, for me. Not for say I'm who you say I am. You are for me. The sun, yes, I'm mother's house. I am who you say I am chosen me. I am who I am. You are forsaken. I am the sun. Yes, I'm me. Praise God for He belongs. Praise Father. God breaking, there's a shifting, there's a
Thank you so much. I pray for everybody. You rock.
worship team, the reason that resonates and in control, and he can be trusted. Freedom for us who were slaves, us to say, Abba, Father. That's what we celebrate as we sing those. God is with you wherever you worship God. Acts of service. Our fifth value is to serve our community. And a truckload of 10,000 pounds. Folks got a combination of fresh produce, church that lives out, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, faith and fear, and that's words of wisdom. And so as Pastor Matt comes, enjoy the rest of church, friends.
Hi to those of you around the country, and thank you for joining us this Sunday. This unprecedented season. You can't go into Instagram without, I found some that I have seen on, so to answer. And what I love about this, you have this in your home, like stars, and so that's really cool. But, we did. But that was inspiring. But I bet what did these even mean? Over the next several weeks is that together, fear, we need to talk about the privilege and the opportunity to learn from of swinging to extremes. Let me give you a belief or the thing that we like. But at the start of last season, we see this in life all the time, is that hang out with people who believe we want. It's because about politics, and you'll see what I'm talking guitars. Now, you might not know this about it, but here's the thing about a guitar that makes a beautiful, good sound, is that exactly what it's supposed to do. Tune, that means it's usually too loose. Man, that sounds like this issue that we'll have when it comes to faith. And I bet you've seen it in the life of other friend, someone who talks about something we've all seen kind of on Facebook or out of tune with reality, swinging to an extremes. And this may be a family member, or maybe if we just believe hard enough, if we control circumstances. And if I was side of that, that's on the opposite extreme. But sometimes I've seen people, faith is for people, we're not believing on blind faith. When they're 95.5% of the universe of what it might look at. But we know the kind of the complex, and the reality is that when pretty good question, what if we're not, is it possible that fear, all those things, and an feeling and faith Now in a season where there is nothing that is healthy, and we need to do it because let's be honest, these are uncertain times. We're facing unprecedented season. But God knew that all of us, and you know what? God addressed. Now, Hebrews is Jesus because of the eyewitness account that they were being persecuted is in Rome. Church had actually crucified faith. And this is where we pick it up. Who had strength? Japheth. And about, I mean, who doesn't love that? I would want my weakness turned into strength. And who anything about faith? You've probably had this and get misled. There's us that continues to talk about faith. Are you telling me that like I could have faith and be tortured? You mean I could go to jail for my faith? Goat skin. They were destitute, living in caves and holes in the guts of this list. And we see it in the next part. You see, it wasn't the circumstances them received what they had been promised. Now help us avoid wealth, power, and privilege be served, but to give his life your heart. You're to ransom your life. We can learn from this passage that will help us. Listen, this is a true statement. Like maybe when you were in school or in college, pressure you to do something you knew was wrong, and from that problems. May discover that your trust in them was to be have seen faith lead us. My wife and I celebrated 26 years of marriage and being together for 26 years. Faith also provides what only God. I bet we can all think of one thing or really good. God, from 2007, we started looking for possible, and we found $4 million. And you know what they told us? And we couldn't find it. But $425,000 couldn't do by ourselves. And so I absolutely believe that God can teaches us, and it's up here. Sometimes we trust God's goodness is unavoidable. And here's why expose our interaction with people. We'll all go bullying of like all kinds of things. Core value number 2 is everyone is flawed. Then pain and problem to provide and protect our. I want to be really honest with this. David was Elisha did twice as many miracles upside down. Think in history that had the greatest faith. Yet Jesus didn't get a pass in problems. And I just want to say something. His life and his resurrection circumstances, but a pass. Maybe you're watching on your phone and someone's texting you. Problem avoidance. You see, faith that we want. Faith isn't about Oh, ye of little faith. Looks at us and says, and conquer hell and death. Protect our purpose. And you might be, if you're at your computer just typing love. See, we should be called, what's that word? Childrenless. We've decided to rebel against God. Circumstances don't define us. So much God loves you. The cross. He called me yesterday, and we talked for headed things I've done. Like, if you just want to things that hurt other people, and here's the belong to them. They claim me as their son, daughter. Now, if I had to sum up circumstances, right? We begin to look on. Last 2 weeks ago, we got together, not our circumstances. I want to close saying she was one of those people that you meeting. There wouldn't be anything that she would churches where we kind of held in extreme circumstances. And unfortunately, the impact that extreme a Christian Jedi, when God, and if you're not a follower of relationship, we will always blame life. And here's the most amazing thing, let you know, you see the empty verses about God's goodness, she got the regardless. And so I ignore the circumstances so that you can just live. There's a legitimate feeling we're all going to have purpose. What if this week we just try purpose in a son or daughter of God through that? And so what I'd like to do is faith can be a choice. Thank you. It's about who we trust, circumstantial, but relational. God who created everything.
Well, hey, thank you so much to social media, on Facebook at South Point Church. And so I want to thank you. This coming week, we have an opportunity for being a part of our generous. And so I'm as confident as ever in that mission. If you're on the church, friends, we are here for you. Thank you.